Super excited to be here in Paris. Maybe if we could just start it off, a round of applause for everybody hosting this event. Just kudos for this beautiful venue in Paris, and really excited about what the Sui ecosystem is building. But Thijs, thank you so much for joining me. Really excited to kick this off.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for having us, guys. Very excited to be here, seeing a lot of people, so that is great. Hope to give you all a good idea of where we're going.
So maybe to dive in a little bit, your background is in trading, currently at VanEck. Can you share a little bit about how you personally and also VanEck kind of thinks about the space?
Yeah, of course. So personally, I started in crypto 2017. Started trading myself, buying some tokens. So first of all, I bought some ETH. Was trading on centralized exchanges. So 2017, there was hardly any DEX. Maybe you remember Interdelta.
Yep.
Was one of the first DEXs available with hardly any liquidity. But then also got some positions on and really start exploring more into crypto. Started investing into small projects. The ICO boom in 2017, and that was where my first experience was in crypto. And we came a long way because now you have a lot of DEXs, and one in particular, Uniswap, is the biggest today. And I think 30% of all trading volume is happening today on DEXs. So we came a long way from actually off-chain to on-chain, because you only had Binance in the start, and now you have many opportunities where you can trade your crypto token. So I think we're heading in the right direction, and now with all these new blockchains trying to get faster trading experience, but also more accessibility on a global scale. That is something that we're excited for.
Yeah, a lot has definitely changed since the early Ether Delta days, really trying to put order books on chain. I think the industry is really now going from low throughput blockchains to high throughput blockchains. And when you go from low throughput to high throughput, what type of new applications ultimately get enabled in that process? And part of that, I think, to your point, is order books. Can you talk about what has changed again since like the early days that you have seen to now coming and doing a little bit more trading on chain?
Yeah, so first of all, I have to say, so VanEck itself is not trading anything on chain. It's only from my personal experience. So a lot has changed, mostly liquidity. So when I started trading on any DEXs, there was no liquidity. So now you have all these AMM pools where people put in their cryptocurrencies to get some yield, and then I'm able to buy a big position in anything I want. And I think the next step for VanEck also wants to explore using DEXs and trading on DEXs, but there has to be a lot of things we have to get over to get more comfortable. And that's one thing, is regulatory environment. So first of all, we also need to know what is possible, because you have all these different countries that have different regulation. So we have to get over that first and need to know what we're able to do. And we need to know who our counterparty is. So one big example is that today we're trading against a crypto wallet. You have no idea where he or she is located, and you have no idea who you're trading against, who the counterparty is. So if there would be, so an ideal future would be that there's a third party KYC that is saying that this party is an institutional player or a retail player, and we can just trade against that other counterparty and know that everything is safe enough. And we can say to the regulators as well that we traded against an institutional player here that also KYC with a third party. And today that's not possible. So we are trading on Coinbase Prime most of the time, but we also would love to have the opportunity to buy some early stage tokens that are only trading on decentralized exchanges. And today we are simply not possible to do it, because we have no idea who's holding the tokens, and those counterparties are not labeled or are just trading it's almost like a black market. You have no idea who you're trading against.
Yeah, DeFi, it's really going through a iterative phase. I think putting more and more on chain, going from adding more data on chain, which is more transparent in a way, but still making sure that from a regulatory standpoint, you can comply with the traditional TradFi system. Can you talk a little bit about how you have seen really the growth of DeFi from when you have really started with your crypto journey to today? Because I think it's been very impressive just from my seat watching TVLs go from hundreds of millions now to billions, daily trading volumes being relatively small to now billions. Where do you think the future of kind of this DeFi ecosystem takes us?
Yeah, it will only go further into decentralized exchanges. So we're seeing 30% today of total trading volume is in DeFi already. It will only be more because it's way faster, it's cheaper, it's on a public ledger, so you know what happened for anyone. And there's also a settlement time of T+0. So we can get rid of the T+2 that's still in traditional finance. So sometimes you trade equities as well for our liquid token funds. And if we're trading equities, we have a trade in Bloomberg, and then we have to wait 2 days for the settlement to get it to State Street Bank. Well, that's something in the future that's something you don't want, because anything can happen in those 2 days and you don't have your assets yet. So the T+0 settlement, the speed that is needed, but also I think on the other hand, what is also needed is more market makers that get comfortable getting into the order book in decentralized exchanges, because they need to know that when you're placing an order, the order state is also coming back to the market maker at any time, and there shouldn't be any ghost orders for a decentralized exchange. And I think some of these projects in Sui already today are building stuff that is going to enable market makers to get fast access to the data on chain, and also like project like Pit Network, for example, is able to give prices on a really fast level to the traders on chain.
Yeah, it is amazing when you go from like the low throughput blockchains to high throughput blockchains. The type of applications that you can enable, like order books, but you also have to enable high throughput oracles. You have to have better execution. You have to have market makers that can adapt to all these. And I think one thing, especially on the trading side, that firms like VanEck and others would appreciate is the quality of the trades, the execution. Can you talk a little bit how important execution is in trading?
Yes, so it's a lot louder. So yes, it's important. So we are trying to get things done in a fast way. For especially for hedge funds, we need to have positions on every day, going in and going out. So settlement process is very important for us. And I think that for me, and looking into the future, that not only crypto tokens, but also securities or whatever can be tokenized, and we can trade all tokenized assets on chain. And I think a lot of projects are already doing this. So you have treasury funds already that are already trading on chain. So today I think we have around $1.2 billion assets under management. We don't, but in general there is on chain 1.2 billion in treasury funds already available in real world assets where we can invest in. And also now with BlackRock coming in, building the Battle Fund, and also VanEck itself is building stuff on chain. So we are coming up with a stable coin, and also we have an NFT marketplace. So we're trying to get really on chain and try to get all our people to work closely with all projects to see what we can do to help there.
Yeah, I think VanEck has been one of those firms that is always at the forefront, and Web3 is no exception there. You and the firm have really been pushing the bar. What was kind of the impetus? Was it just to explore what has been going on in the industry within Web3, kind of dip your toes, or something kind of more broader vision?
Yeah, so first of all, VanEck is a traditional asset manager, has been around since 1955. It's family owned, so we can really move easily in any direction, because Jan VanEck, he really loves crypto, and we are here to stay for the long run. We are not going in and out. So we were the first move. We were the first traditional asset manager that actually filed for a Bitcoin ETF. Now we have one available in the United States. We already had Bitcoin ETN, Ethereum ETN, and other ETN products in crypto in Europe. And are now also filing for an Ethereum ETF.
Yeah, it's impressive just from afar to watch how the VanEck team actually pushes, and I think actually getting involved in the day-to-day You guys are actually very involved in just the ecosystems as well, understanding them from a technical perspective, the different trade-offs and nuances. Is there any like DeFi projects or things that you're uniquely excited about to either have come on chain today, even on the like KYC compliance aspect, that you're really looking forward to in the future?
Well, there's nothing today that has that KYC capabilities that we actually can see who we're trading against. But still, yeah, like we just want to have access to liquidity in general, and I think that that one of the things we're asking developers also to build is some centralized exchange experience on DeFi, where we can just trade like we are used to trade in a traditional way, and also move over from Web 2 to Web 3. And yeah, we are really waiting for the decentralized exchanges to evolve to that kind of scale where they can show us that everything is in a regulated way, and also that they can show that every counterparty is KYC AML with some third party.
For like things to come on chain, I know regulatory aspect is a massive push. Need a lot of clarity there. Is it simply on the regulatory side that clarity is needed to start doing things more on chain from an institutional aspect?
Is anything more needed from a regulatory perspective, or I don't want to piss off the regulators here, so I'm trying to be really careful. Okay, not say too much about regulation at the moment, but just in general, there's like so many different regulatory frameworks globally, and decentralized trading is a global access for anyone. So you are always dealing with different regulatory bodies, and in the end, we are, as VanEck, mostly dealing with the United States regulation on a trading perspective.
Yeah. And maybe jumping back to like the DeFi aspect, ultimately, a lot of arbitrage can exist within centralized exchanges, and ultimately that is manifested as well within the DeFi space. How do you see like interesting opportunities between kind of what exists today in the TradFi ecosystem and what exists on chain?
So first of all, so again, we're going into the same stuff. So I think the applications on chain, the biggest benefit is that anyone is able to access that, and on a decentralized manner. So the thing is that I would like to know how much someone did in the past. So where did the funds move from, and try to track, does this actually make sense that this player is trading with me, and does he actually have the funds? And that's something in TradFi you don't know, right? Because there's okay. So first of all, you have we call it in the Netherlands giraal. So it's you're trading, and the assets are going like they're being held under custody, and everyone's trading the same asset. While in DeFi, you know that if you're trading spot, there is a limited supply of that asset, and you know that you're actually trading that asset in a way. So I had some slides. So I'm trying to find my clicker so I can show some slides here.
Maybe just if we have slides, we can pull them up. But otherwise, do you want to just
yeah, go.
chat about high level what you had?
Yeah. So I had some slides. So first of all, I think this is a really exciting time for Sui because we were here today. I went to Solana Breakpoint last year, October, in Amsterdam, and that was exactly the moment when Solana really went vertical, right? So, first of all, Solana had like 5% of market share, decentralized exchanges, market share, 5% to now over 40%. It's the biggest one in the market share. It is more market share now than Ethereum is being traded on Solana on a daily basis. And there's a few things that made it, right? So, Solana Breakpoint, October 23, after that, everyone went on-chain on Solana. And that was because good product market fit of applications. So everyone was ready there. The DEXs were there. I think a good example, Jupiter, Radium, Orca. They all had good product market fit, but no one was using the chain. And then on Ethereum, fees went up at the end of 2023. So people had to make a choice of going somewhere. They want to have cheap fees on chain, and they wanted to have fast transactions in transaction speed. And the thing there was, when the crypto went up, so Bitcoin all-time high this year, people were looking to go on chain, and if Ethereum was too expensive, so they were looking to go anywhere else. and they wanted to have retail users want to have exposure to meme coins. Well, you can buy Shiba Inu on Ethereum, but that costs like $60 for a transaction. A retail user is trading like $200. So that was way too expensive to move to Ethereum. So they were looking for other chains. So Solana was the best outcome, and everything was ready there. But now the next thing you're seeing that too many users went maybe at the same time. That there is some network congestion happening for a couple of days now. So Sui Basecamp here, and that's what I'm trying to also tell everyone. Like, build good product market fit applications today, and have it ready for whenever people want to move over from Ethereum Solana to Sui, because right now Solana is cheap and fast, was fast, but now you have to wait for your transaction. But have it always available and keep trusting in building your application and trying to solve for the challenges ahead, and always be ready for a big move of users coming on chain. So that is what I'm trying to recommend every application here, to be ready for the next move. And move is of course the programming language here, so be ready for it. Try to build something that actually makes sense, and then ultimately it will come.
Yeah, history's funny. I mean, post 2017, after the ICO boom, everybody hated Ethereum, and most people thought it was dead and not going to come back. That was obviously not true. And I think similarly, something happened with Solana post FTX. Everybody thought it was dead, and then builders kept building, and then it came back. And I think now with Sui being in a very interesting position early in the community days, but has similar high performance characteristics where you can build really unique product market fit applications at scale. The chain will actually continue to scale as you get more user adoption, and you can build very interesting things today, even though it's the early days. The builders that are here, I think, are truly going to be OGs in the space, and so excited as well for the product market fit applications that will emerge from here.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And and I think maybe they are maybe here today. And what I really like about one of the examples, so you have DeepBook as example, and I think the vision of DeepBook is also that anyone can start a market tomorrow. So I've been a big fan of Deepin, for example, but I've been a fan of just trying to create a network. So if you have an idea or a vision, or you want to build an app, you can literally start tomorrow without any funding, and you can just create a token to create a network. You can say, I'm going to have a token tomorrow, and I'm just going to give anyone that wants to participate, I'm going to give them a part of the token, and people are going to join the network, and eventually the token will become worth more because there is a network. And getting back to the example of DeepBook, is actually saying that anyone can start a market. So if I want to launch a token tomorrow and name it VanEck token ABC, I can start a market in VanEck token ABC against USDC and start providing liquidity into it. And I can say VanEck token is going to give every user that invests in our product is getting the token. For example, is a good way of bootstrapping a network, and I really like seeing that. So we have invested last year in Hivemapper, and Hivemapper was getting that same network effect by just saying, okay, you can now join the network today. We have a device, you have to place it in front of your car, and you can film your surroundings, and eventually we have a whole map of visionary mapping, what we can sell to third parties like Google Maps or Apple Maps. But the thing is, when they started, they didn't need any funding because they say, okay, you're going to first create a network, and if we have a network, we will go for funding later because people will actually understand what the product is about. And so I'm excited about Deeping, about DeFi, and so in Sui, DeepBook again, or anything that is going to like allow for anyone to build stuff is going to be a good project.
Yeah, I've always been very excited about Web3 for a couple reasons. One was the composability nature, the tokens, being able to bootstrap network effects, and kind of that global liquidity layer. Really, I think historically, in my eyes, predominantly people that have invested in equities, or the most valuable companies have historically been in US, which is harder for international people to invest within equities in the US markets. And I think tokens more broadly just enable that coordination for a global audience, and making that very integral into your product can help bootstrap those early network effects. And I think Deepin does a great job when you combine that with something like order book built on Sui. You have a lot of interesting ways to push the industry forward and make unique applications and make sure everybody's incentivized pushing in the same direction.
Exactly. Yeah. So and that one of the other things I was going to show is where we came from. Like I think like 5-6 years ago, most of all assets were being held on the chains, and I had some charts that that would have shown that everyone is moving more on chain, especially after the FTX collapse of 2022. Most people are taking their assets. So what I'm seeing as the ideal world in like 5 to 10 years is that we both have a wallet where all our investments are being held, from equities to bonds to crypto tokens, and that I have my wallet here and I can show that everything is in one place, and I can trade as a retail user wherever I want, or maybe more tokenization, right? So let's maybe think about that, the tokenization of your car or your house or your art, for example. You can tokenize whatever you want. I think this morning I had a discussion about tokenizing uranium, because there's no type of investment right now that is going to invest directly in uranium, and then you might be tokenizing that, for example. And I think for VanEck, we want to be on the front to really try to think of what we can tokenize and what we cannot tokenize. We would love to have all the ETFs tokenized, so that I have my portfolio Solana, Ethereum, Sui, and then I also have semiconductors, for example, in one portfolio. That will be the ultimate feature.
Yeah, it's amazing when you go, again, from these low throughput networks to high throughput. I mean, Ethereum historically constrained to 12 to 15 transactions per second. The amount of applications that you can really build with such limited amount of transactions available to the network in such high latency is really constrain what is possible. And I think why I'm personally really excited about Sui is because the possibilities get much larger when you're able to do thousands, hundreds of thousands of transactions per second and have very low latency. And they can enable things like that vision of trading stocks, bonds, tokens, and at a global magnitude. And I truly think it's the early days for crypto more broadly. And I'm excited to get more people on chain doing things. I'm excited that VanEck and others from the institutional side are pushing the space forward and dipping their toes in the water there.
Perfect. Yeah, that's also what we believe in. And yeah, as VanEck still, we will be here for the long term. And so if you're here today, by the way, we would love to get in touch with any new projects and try to see if there's any investment possible in the early stage, or if you're trying to launch a token in a few months. I would love to connect. I am on LinkedIn, but also on Telegram. My Telegram is @Thijs van Boven. You can just chat me. And I'm happy to learn more about your project and see how we can help in any way possible. And I think the same is for you as well.
At Frictionless Capital, we're also actively investing in Sui. Please reach out. But maybe as we're closing up, what are your final thoughts for the audience to take away, either from the institutional side, the trading side, where you think the DeFi ecosystem is going, where you think Sui is going? What are you excited for as we're kind of closing up here?
I'm still most excited about what I was saying about Deepin. I think a network effect shouldn't be. You always want to see how fast it can grow. We have seen it now with some of these projects, with Helium, Hivemapper, Render, IONET, and also AI, of course. AI is also a big topic. The only thing that I'm concerned about is what can decentralized compute actually mean. Still seeing that centralized compute is today better, but excited about AI, Deepin, DeFi, about many, and KYC, identity, account abstraction. Trying to, so for example, Sui today has ZK logging, so you can log in with your Gmail. So if you're going back to the whole Solana hype with retail, it will be even a bigger hype if people can just start using on-chain or Web3 today with only your Gmail account instead of you have to create a whole Web3 wallet first. So if you're going to see a boom with Sui, it will be a bigger boom than we saw with Solana.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you everybody for participating and coming out to Paris. Thijs van Boven.